Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. Fire potential impacts continue mainly across the eastern portion of the Great Basin today, ahead of that really strong cold front moving into the western Great Basin today as well. So we're expecting gusty winds over Utah and up into western Wyoming. The areas shaded in yellow here are where we're expecting those really strong winds, but the fuels aren't quite as critical. And the areas shaded in orange are where we have a combination of critical fuels and very strong winds and low relative humidities today. After today, we will see things die down for a couple of days, and then winds pick back up again on Friday. The past 24 hours did see some precipitation move into Idaho and far northwest Nevada. We'll see more precipitation fill in today across central Nevada. And we did see some lightning activity associated with some of those storms in the past 24 hours. Recent Great Basin fire activity is shown here with new fires popping up in red. We did see about a 350-acre fire down in far southwest Utah yesterday, with a few other smaller fires popping up across the state. Precipitation for the past 14 days is shown here, with the observed amounts on the left and the percent of average on the right. Mainly seeing precipitation come to the mountains of central Idaho, where those precip amounts were closer to normal. Elsewhere across the geographic area, we're really looking for very dry conditions for the past couple of weeks, and that follows on a very dry month of April as well. So continued dry conditions, although we will see a little bit of precipitation move in the next couple of days. It's really not enough to make a huge dent in these numbers. Current ERC conditions are shown here, where we're seeing some of these areas on the upward swing as of yesterday, but there is a cold front bringing some moisture into the northern two-thirds of the geographic area over the next couple of days, which will cause those values to come back down into the green for most of the northern two-thirds of the area. Across the south, however, those values will stay elevated, as we're not expecting any precipitation in the southern tip and the southeast portion of Utah, although temperatures will come down a bit. Taking a closer look at those ERC trends for southern and southeast Utah, those values are pretty close to the record levels for far southeast Utah, and even southern Utah much above normal for the time of year with those hot, dry conditions. Our sagebrush live fuel moistures are shown here for a site in southwest Utah, where those values are actually above normal for the time of year, and a site in far western Nevada, where those values are setting new historical records for the past 10 years or so. This morning's satellite imagery is showing that strong area of low pressure entering into far western Nevada today. We are expecting to see showers and thunderstorms continuing across western and central Nevada throughout the day today, with those strong gusty southwest winds out ahead of it continuing over Utah and up into western Wyoming. This trough will continue to move through the Great Basin on Wednesday, bringing some cooler conditions and some showers to northern Utah on Wednesday. So for this afternoon, again expecting that precipitation and cooler temperatures to move into western and central Nevada and Idaho as well, but dry conditions continue over Utah. We do have high risk triggers issued for those strong gusty winds over southern and southeast Utah today. Taking a closer look at those wind speeds, here we're seeing gusts to 40 to 50 miles an hour in those deeper purples here in eastern Utah, and even along the Wasatch Front. Those strong winds were really expected statewide today. Higher relative humidities over Idaho, and again moving into western and central Nevada, where we'll see some precipitation there that we haven't seen for quite some time through most of April and May. Dry conditions continue across Utah for today. On Wednesday, that trough will move further into the Great Basin, bringing some cooler temperatures and higher relative humidities and a chance for some precipitation to northern Utah. We will take a break from the winds on Wednesday for the most part, and we don't have any high-risk triggers issued on Wednesday. Again, we'll continue to see some of those gusty north to northwest winds behind the cold front across the north, but in the areas where our fuels are critical, we're not expecting to see those continuing strong winds on Wednesday. Dry conditions will continue across southeast Utah, as that cooler, moister air won't really make it that far into the Great Basin. On Thursday, we'll continue to see some cool slightly wetter conditions across Idaho as that low remains in place. Some stronger winds across northern Nevada, but lighter winds elsewhere across the southern and eastern half of the Great Basin. Again, taking a look at those wind speeds across western Nevada, looking at 30 to 35 mile an hour winds there, and lighter across Utah. Relative humidities begin to decrease once again across the southern half of the geographic area. The 3-day precipitation totals are shown here, really looking for a pretty good chance of some wetting rains over central Nevada. That's going to happen mainly today, and then also some pretty good amounts there in the central Idaho mountains. Northern Utah will see a passing shower, but nothing too significant. And then, of course, southern and southeast Utah won't see much of anything at all. On Friday, that low strengthens and dips down just a bit, creating gusty winds once again over the southern Great Basin. So we have issued high-risk triggers for Friday afternoon there for southern Nevada, southern Utah, and southeast Utah out ahead of this next little cold front there. The winds lighten up again for Saturday, and we'll see temperatures increasing on Saturday and into Sunday as a little ridge rebuilds across the southern Great Basin. Winds remain light and temperatures increasing on Monday. 7-day precipitation totals, really just looking for that precipitation to come in the short term, mainly today and tomorrow, and then dry through the weekend. The extended forecast for May 26th through June 1st is calling for above normal temperatures for all of the Great Basin, especially over Nevada and southwest Utah, and below normal chances for precip for most of the area as well. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.